The story of our journey to PVM is probably best told in three parts, right? Act one, act two, act three. Act one, my early days in falling in love with technology. I was that kid that had to figure out how everything worked, right? I was the curious person in the family that whether it was broken or of value before we got rid of it, I had to take a look at it, open it up, take it apart, figure out if I could solve that problem. As I entered into high school and developed my cohort and started on the academic part of that, found myself as the president of the computer science club. And that started that journey about, well, how do I do things with technology that are interesting, that solve problems. Taught myself my initial set of technology skills, right? Picked those up from reading magazines and coding games and figuring out ways to get more from that bright, shiny computer. Also, as part of that act one of my growth story, my family is a family of service. My dad was in the Marine Corps during the Vietnam era, as well as his brother, who was in the Army. And so there was a part of my growth that was always associated with public service. It was nearly a foregone conclusion that was going to be something that I did post high school. So leave high school, start act two of this journey to PVM, where I went to college on an ROTC scholarship in, surprise, surprise, computer science. Did that, and then after graduating, joined the U.S. Navy, where I spent the first 4 years or so learning leadership, learning how to operate and solve challenges at sea as a part of a team. And that was a really, really impactful part of my journey where, as a country, we charge people at really, really early stages to go solve hard problems, right? So if I look at my shipmates that I served with during that period of time, the average age is 20, 21, and you're placed in these positions where you really do have to go get something done with a sense of urgency. And during that period, I was interested in how do we give those folks an unfair advantage, right? How do we use technology to help with that host of problems? So I was fortunate in that I was selected by the Navy to go to postgraduate school to go work on technology at the graduate level. The timing was ideal in that the Naval Postgraduate School is in Central California. This was at the beginning of the internet age, where I was able to go work in two disciplines: computer science, surprise, surprise, and then operations research. And the marrying of those two disciplines is where operations research is solely focused on using data to make decisions, and then computers, how do we do that in a way that's efficient? So I completed that part of it, and really it started, I guess, what will transition into Act 3. Now that I've been armed up with that information from an academic perspective, how do I go apply that? And I've had two opportunities in uniform that really shaped the foundation for PVM. The first was as part of General Petraeus' staff in Iraq, where his organization was charged with the literal rebuilding of all of the functions of a nation. And really, really hard problems. And with a sense of urgency, you're doing that, you're solving those challenges in an environment that is hostile, where poor decisions lead to really, really poor outcomes. Did that for about 14 months, and after that experience, came back to my home service in Navy, where I was leading the organization that did command and control decision making, right? So again, these time-driven, really hard problems where that have significant mission outcomes. Entering into that position after my Iraq experience, to be completely honest, I was frustrated. Same class of problems, same challenges, but a lack of urgency, right? Lots of bureaucracy, lots of distractions. And so when it came time for me to do things after public service, my passion, my curiosity, my desire to really address those issues remained. And that formed the basis for PVM, where if you look back, all the way back to Act 1 of this, still that curious person, still want to take apart everything, to figure out how do we make things work. And PVM is rooted in that. How do we use data, technology to address really, really hard problems with significant mission outcomes?